श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् अपार करुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्।
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we are going through this program of Vande GurorMandalam, going through Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada's Stotras. And we are now in Shivananda Lahari, Shloka number 73.
Namaskaram. भूदारतामुदवहद् यदपेक्षया श्रीभूदार एव किमतः सुमते लभस्वा केदारमाकलितमुक्तिमहौषधीनां पादारविन्दभजनं परमेश्वरस्य।
Adi Shankara has been teaching us consistently that bhakti will lead to mukti. So the same subject is again being taught in this shloka through another analogy. Here the analogy is that of an agricultural field and the crop that is grown. Now he says, Mahavishnu had to break open the ground and go down for having darshan of Parameshwara's feet. So important is Parameshwara's feet. Bhudaratam udabahat yadapekshaya Shri Bhudarayeva kimatas sumate labhasva. Shri Bhudarayeva. Shri is Mahalakshmi, Bhu is Bhumi Devi, Dara is consort. So one who is having consorts of Shri Devi and Bhu Devi, that is Mahavishnu. Eva, he himself, Mahavishnu himself, Bhudaratam Udavahat, he took the form of a Varaha. Bhudara is Varaha. Bhudara means something which digs into the ground. Bhudara, Dara means digging, breaking open. So something which digs into the ground, that is Varaha. That state of Varaha, Udavahat, he adopted that form. Yadapekshaya. Why did he do that? Yadapekshaya, expecting something. What is the something which he expected? Last line, Padaravinda Bhajanam Parameshwarasya. He expected to receive the upasana of Padaravinda of Parameshwara. This is what he expected. He didn't get it, that is different. But he wanted to have darshan of Parameshwara's Padaravinda. That didn't happen. But for that, he took so much of effort. Now, what he is saying is, Kedaramakhalita Mukti Mahaushadhinam. This whole thing is like a field. Which whole thing is like a field? This bhakti which Mahavishnu showed and which we should show in having darshan of Padaravinda is like a field, agricultural field, Kedaram. Akalita Mukti Mahaushadhinam. Akalita means one who desires, those who desire Mukti. Mukti Mahaushadhinam. Those who desire to have darshan of Parameshwara, they are cultivating this field. The field is bhakti. Mukti Mahaushadhinam. And what is the Oshadhi which is grown there? Mahaushadhi. The great Oshadhi, the great crop which is grown there is Mukti. Now that is given in plural, Mukti Mahaushadhi Nam, but we know that there is only the highest form of Mukti. But there are other lesser forms of Mukti which we have seen before, Salokyam, Saropyam, etc. So, Sayujyam is the final one. So, he is referring to those various levels of, these four are major levels of Mukti, but devotees must be experiencing several levels of Mukti. So, he is putting it in plural. Mukti Mahaushadhinam, the great crops of Mukti, they are looking for that, then they are cultivating this field. That field is Padaravinda Bhajanam Parameshwaras. Yeah, and then they will get the crop of Mukti. So if you cultivate the field properly, you will get a proper crop. So if you cultivate the field of bhakti for having darshan, what is this bhakti for cultivating the field? It means having intense desire, like Mahavishnu did. That's a Mahavishnu example has been given. Mahavishnu had intense desire to have darshan of Parameshwara. Maybe he was in a fight with Brahma, that is another part of the story. But his desire was intense, at least to win over Brahma. But here, we should have similar intense desire for having Parameshwara's darshan. That desire, that bhakti is the field in which if you keep on cultivating that field patiently, you will grow the crop of mukti. At least some level of mukti, which you keep on again doing, and then you will go on improving your level of mukti. So, Mahavishnu, whose consorts are Sridevi and Bhudevi, adopted the form of Varaha for breaking into the ground with the desire and expectation of having darshan of Parameshwara's Padaravinda. So important are Parameshwara's Padaravindas. So you should also develop the field of bhakti, the agricultural field of bhakti with great intense desire, Vakalita, with great intense desire, then you will grow the crop of Mukti Mahaushadhi, the great crop of Mukti. भूदारतामुदवहत् यदपेक्षया श्रीभूदार एव किमतः सुमते लभस्व किमतः सुमते लभस्व. So what more you need for me to say? Kimatah means what more. Sumate labhasva. Sumate means one who is intelligent. Oh, intelligent man, labhasva, go and do this Padaravinda Bhajana. Labhasva means go and attain that. So if you go and attain that, you will automatically get mukti. So the pathway to mukti is through the Padaravinda Bhajana of Parameshwara. So he says, Kimata Sumate Labhasva. Kedara Makalita Mukti Mahaushadhinam Padaravinda Bhajanam Parameshwarasya. Next.
आशापाशक्लेश दुर्वासनादि भेदोद्युक्तैर्दिव्यगन्धैरमन्दैः आशाशाटीकस्य पादारविन्दम् चेतः पेटीं वासितां मे तनोतु.
Here he is comparing the mind to a box. Cheta Petim. My mind is like a box. But this box, the trouble with this box is it is having a lot of durvasana, very bad smell. So it is only your feet, Parameshwara's lotus feet, which can induce good smell, good fragrance into this box and then drive away the bad smell. So, what are the durvasanas and how did these durvasanas come? Asha, Pasha, Klesha, Durvasana, Adi, Vedodyuktaihi, Divya Gandhair, Amandaihi. Asha, endless desires. Pasha, endless attachments. Every desire leads to an attachment, isn't it? Once you get that object, you are attached to that object. You cannot stand the separation from that object. So this is pasha. Asha, pasha. Klesha. Klesha is grief when the separation takes place. That's what we think. But Patanjali, the author of Yoga Sutras, does not think like that. For him, klesha is something more serious than the grief of separation. For him, klesha is much more deep, much more profound, much more intense. And he divides klesha into 5 categories. Pancha klesha. He says, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, esha pancha klesha. Avidya is ignorance, not knowing that we are not the body and we are the Atma. That is the basic avidya. Asmita is ego. We think that we are something different from somebody else. We are not different. We have the same Atma. Our body and mind may be different, but Atma is the same. So there is no need for us to have any special ahankara. That asmita is ahankara, ego. Raga is attachment. Dvesha is hate. Raga, dvesha go together. We have seen it before. Then the fifth one is abhinivesha. This is something which we don't come across frequently. We come across ignorance, we come across ego, we come across attachment, we come across hate. But we don't come across abhinivesha frequently. That is Patanjali's greatness. He introduced it as the fifth klesha. He says, clinging to life. You are so much attached to the body, you are so much attached to this life that you are so much afraid of yama, you are so much afraid of death, that clinging to life and fear of death is abhinivesha. That also is a klesha. Klesha means something which is constantly bothering you. These 5 are constantly bothering you. Now, grief of separation, when we think it is only a temporary one, somebody has been separated from us, we believe for a short time. But these 5, these are also born out of the grief of separation only, according to Vedanta, because we feel we are separated from Atma. If we, that is why he gives the name of klesha. If we know that we are Atma, there is no klesha, it is only Ananda. So that basic separation has caused all these 5 categories of klesha. And the last one he says is the most serious, that is the clinging to life and yamabhaya. So he says, Asha, Pasha, Klesha, Durvasanadi. Other than these, there are other Durvasanas, evil vasanas, evil smells left behind by various karmas. That is, Vedanta says very clearly, every karma you do, whether it is punya karma or papa karma, leaves behind 2 fruits. One is the fruit of that karma. If it is a punya karma, you will reap punya. If it is a papa karma, you will reap papa. And the fruits of punya, fruits of papa, whatever is there, whatever destiny gives you, you will go through that. That is only one part. The second part is, which is also equally serious, which you don't realize, is it leaves behind a vasana. Because a karma, once we have done, our mind has got some kind of attachment to that karma. If you go on doing that karma 20 times, you get addicted to that karma. So much, that is how evil habits come to us, because we get addicted to those habits. It becomes a habit, first of all, by repeatedly doing that karma, isn't it? So, why you repeatedly do? Because it leaves behind a vasana which makes it attractive to you second time, third time, fourth time. So, karma has been done and you are going to enjoy the fruit. That story is over. Second, it leaves behind vasana, which makes you do that karma again and reap that fruit again. If it is punya karma, okay, it is well and good. But if it is papa karma, we are talking about durvasana. So that means papa karmas. So papa karmas are more attractive, isn't it? So since they are attractive to the sense organ, our mind runs after those papa karmas again and again. That is because of the durvasana left behind by the previous karma. If you have not done the karma for the first time, maybe you will not be attracted to it for the second time, third time. But if you have done it once, you want to do it again and again. So that is durvasana. So like this, Adi, Durvasana Adi. That is Asha, Pasha, Klesha, Durvasana Adi. There are some more. All these have to be, all these have left behind a very bad smell in the box of my mind. Bhedodyuktaihi, for removing, for breaking into this evil smell, Udyuktaihi, that means very keen, very intent on removing the smell. How do you remove the smell? For that you have to bring in very good smell, very fragrant smell you have to bring. Divya gandhaihi, amandaihi, divine fragrances and very intense. Amandaihi. Manda is very slow. Manda is very slow in acting. Now we don't want that. Amandaihi, very fast and very intense. So that kind of thing happens. What is it which will give you this kind of fast and beautiful fragrant smell? Only Asha Shati Ekasya Padaravindam. Padaravinda of Parameshwara is the only one which will drive away these evil vasanas and bring in fragrant vasana quickly. So why Parameshwara is called Asha Shati? It's a very rare name he has given to Parameshwara here. Last shloka he called him Parameshwara. This time he calls him Asha Shatikaha. Shatika is dress which you wear. Asha is sari, it comes from Shatika only. The word sari comes from Shatika. Shatika, Shati, and then sari, like that. Asha is direction. Asha, first Asha was desire. Same word means different things in different contexts we have seen before. The second Asha, Asha Shatika, Asha is direction. Normally we talk about 8 directions, 10 directions, Ashta Asha, Dasha Asha, etc. Now, directions are the dress for him. That means he is not wearing any dress. He is Digambara. Digambara is a name which comes in Shiva Panchakshara Stotra. Digambara, yeah. So this Digambara is what is referred to here. He went without any dress as a Bhikshatana to Darukavana, isn't it? So this is the reference to that form of Parameshwara where he is giving darshan as Bhikshatana. Bhikshatana Murti is very common in Shiva temples, you might have seen. That is Digambara. So he says, Asha Shatika is Digambara, one who is wearing only directions as dress. That means he is not wearing any dress. His Padaravinda Chetah Petim Vasitam Me Tanotu, in my box of mind, which is full of Durvasana, Vasitam, let it introduce good smell. Let it make it of good smell. Me Tanotu, let it make my box having good smell and drive away all the bad smell. That is a prayer. So my mind box is full of various Durvasanas, desires, attachments, and 5 types of kleshas: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. That is ignorance, ego, attachment, hate, and fear of yama, clinging to life, as explained by Patanjali in Yoga Sutra. Then every karma is leaving behind durvasana and many more of this type of bad smelling activities have happened in the past and they have left behind a lot of bad smell in my mind. Now, in order to drive away those bad smells, only one object is capable of doing it very keenly, udyuktahi, and it will bring in divine smell very fast, very intense. So what is that which will bring? The Padaravinda of Parameshwara, Digambara. Now, the prayer is, let Padaravinda come and make my mind box fragrant. आशापाशक्लेशदुर्वासनादि भेदोद्युक्तैः दिव्यगन्धैरमन्दैः आशाशातीतस्य पादारविन्दम् चेतः पेटीं वासितां मे तनोतु. Before we go to the next sloka, I wanted to quote this sloka from Shankara's Vishwanatha Ashtakam. So the same thought he has brought out there, and since we are now very much attached to Kashi, our Acharya Swamiji has spent 3 months of Chaturmasya and 3 months and more in Kashi. All many of us have visited Kashi, had darshan. He says in Vishwanatha Ashtakam, Asham vihaja parihritya parasya nindam pape ratincha sunivarya manasamadho. These are all essentials for developing bhakti, he says. Asham vihaja, there also it starts with Asha, that is how it caught our attention. There also he says, you leave away your desires, parihritya parasya nindam. Now we talked about Durvasana, isn't it? Now, another act of Durvasana, which he is now bringing in a new action, is Parasyaninda. We are all very happy to criticize others. We don't realize whenever we criticize somebody, that leaves behind a terrible Durvasana. Because what we are criticizing him for, that action leaves behind a very bad Vasana in our mind. So he says, Parasyanindam Parihritya, leave it, don't do it. Pape eratincha, don't develop any desire for sinful actions. Sunivarya, pape eratincha, sunivarya, leave it fully. Manasamadhav, take the mind towards samadhi state. That means absorption in Padaravinda. Samadhi, absorption in Padaravinda with one pointed mind. Adajavat kamala madhyagatam paresham. How do you do this manasamadhi? He says, there is already Parameshwara seated in the lotus of your mind. In the center of the lotus of your mind, in the center of the lotus, there is a karnika, there is a stem of the lotus. In a very sukshma, in a very subtle form, Parameshwara is seated there. So, take him. Adaya means take him. Take him means meditate on him. Manas samadho adaya. Take him into your samadhi state. That means meditate on him continuously till you reach the samadhi state. So, if you do that, Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham. For this purpose, go and pray to Vishwanatha in Varanasi. So now we go to next sloka.
कल्याणिनं सरसचित्रगतिं सवेगं सर्वेङ्गितज्ञमनघं ध्रुवलक्षणाढ्यं चेतस्तुरङ्गमधित्य चरस्मरारे नेतः समस्तजगतां वृषभाधिरूढ.
There is a prayer to Parameshwara to take a horse instead of his usual Vrishabha. Which is the horse? My mind is the horse. So he is describing the horse. He is describing that he has prepared the horse such that it can be a Vahana for Parameshwara. That means you have to prepare the mind for receiving the Padaravinda of Parameshwara. So what are the qualities he is attributing to the horse? Kalyaninam sarasachitra gatim savegam sarvengitajnam anagham dhruvalakshanaadhyam. Kalyaninam, very auspicious. The horse is very auspicious. Horse also have got lakshanas according to Shastra. Auspicious lakshanas and inauspicious lakshanas. So this horse is having all auspicious lakshanas. It is auspicious, in its conduct. Sarasachitra gatim. Horse should have beautiful gaits, gati, not simply walking like we do. It should be able to move fast, it should be able to jump, it should show different types of gait. So they are all very interesting. Chitra gatim, varied types of gait. Sarasa, they are all very interesting, very enchanting, various types of gait it shows. That means my mind has trained itself in different forms of bhakti, reading stotras, nama sankirtanas, reading puranas, performing homas, performing pujas, listening to lectures, reading books, various kinds of bhakti we are doing. So they are all described as sarasachitra gatim savegam. Horse should be fast, not slow. Then it is not a horse if it is slow. So this mind is also going fast. Here fast means speedy, means that it will not leave aside any opportunity which will take us forward in our spiritual advancement. That is the meaning of speed here. Now we are all very good in missing opportunities which will take us towards good destination. That it happens because of habits. So he says, my horse is not like that. Sarve ingitagnyam. This is very important for a horse. Sarva ingitagnyam. The horse rider, whatever he desires, the horse should do immediately, instantly. Because when a king rides the horse during a war, the horse is the most important for him. We have seen in Mahabharata war how horses have been important. That is why Krishna became charioteer for Arjuna. Why Krishna became charioteer? Because controlling the horses is so important. So the charioteer or the horse rider has certain messages for the horse, and the horse should understand them immediately without having to express it openly. Even a subtle indication, that is ingita. The subtle indication is understood by the horse. All indications, sarve ingitagnyam anagham, free from sins. This horse has never performed any sinful activity. All sins have been removed from this mind. Dhruva lakshanadhyam. It has beautiful lakshanas, characteristics on its body, and they are firm, dhruva, firm lakshanas. That means some lakshanas are temporary. Some lakshanas appear at birth, they disappear after some time. We also, human beings also face this kind of thing. This is not like that. They are all firm lakshanas. Adhyam means full of, plenty of firm lakshanas. Now we have finished describing the horse. Now what is this horse? Ketas Turangam Adhirukya. Turanga is horse. In fact, Turanga itself means an animal which goes fast. That is the definition of horse. Ketas Turangam. The mind is the horse. Adhirukya. Please go on top of this horse. Please climb this horse. Chara smarare, O enemy of Madmatha, smarare, chara, climb this horse and move about, using that as your vahana, move about. Netas samasta jagatam vrishabha dhirodha. Now he is addressing Parameshwara and closing this shloka. Samasta jagatam netaha. You are the leader of all the world. Neta is leader. One who leads by example, that is Neta. One who leads by example, not just by precept. Then only he is a Neta. Neta Samastha Jagatam. He is the Neta, leader for all the world. So you are also Neta for me. So please get on my horse. Vrishabha Dhirodha. You have been using this Vrishabha as your Vahana. You are now mounted on this Vrishabha. Now mount this horse for a change. Leave aside this Vrishabha, mount this horse. And this horse is very auspicious. It has beautiful varied types of gait. It goes fast. It understands all the samignas, all the ingitas, all the hidden messages of the rider. It is free from sins. It is full of firm lakshanas on its body. That is the mind horse of mine. Please mount this horse and move about. O enemy of Manmatha, you are the leader, leading by example of all the three worlds, and you are now mounted on Rishabha. Please mount this horse. Kalyaninam Sarasachitra Gatim Savegam Sarvengitajnam Anagham Dhruva Lakshanadhyam Ketasturangam Adhirukya Charasmarare Netas Samasta Jagatam Vrishabhadhirodha.
भक्तिर्महेश पदपुष्करमावसन्ति कादम्बिनीव कुरुते परितोषवर्षम् सम्पूरितो भवति यस्य मनस्तटाकः तज्जन्म सस्यमखिलं सफलं च नान्यत्.
Here bhakti is characterized as a cloud. The imagery is bhakti is a cloud. That is the imagery. Second line, Kadambiniva Kurute Paritosha Varsham. Kadambini is a mass of clouds. A large group of clouds is Kadambini. So like that, Kadambini Eva, this mind cloud, Kurute Paritosha Varsham. A rain-laden cloud showers rain, isn't it? Now, what is the rain showered by? This Kadambini, this mind cloud. Paritosha Varsham. Extreme happiness, extreme satisfaction is the rain that it showers. And where does it reside? Now, ordinary cloud resides in the sky. This cloud, mind cloud, where does it reside? Bhaktir Mahesha Padapushkara Mahavasanti. Mahesha Padapushkara. It Avasanti, it resides. Pushkara is the sky. One of the many meanings of word Pushkara. Pushkara has got several meanings. Pushkara here means sky. Mahesha Pada Pushkara. The Padaravinda of Maheshwara is the sky in which this cloud, which is Bhakti. Bhakti. First time he is telling what is the cloud? Bhakti. So Bhakti is the cloud which resides in the sky of Padaravinda of Parameshwara, and it showers satisfaction and happiness like a big mass of clouds. Sampurito bhavati yasya vanastataakaha. Now, where does it shower? It showers in the mind. Because all this happens in the mind, isn't it? And mind is imagined as a tataka, a pond. Manastatakaha. So, this shower fills up the tataka. It is full of water. Water is overflowing in this pond. That is, this satisfaction and happiness are overflowing in the pond when you worship Parameshwara, Parameshwara's feet. When you have bhakti towards Parameshwara's feet, that acts like a cloud, it showers happiness and satisfaction, it fills your mind completely. Then what happens? When there is lot of water in the tank, the adjoining fields are very lucky, isn't it? The adjoining agricultural fields, they grow very good crop. Similarly, the adjoining fields near Manas also grow very good crop. This is a very beautiful imagery, bringing in for the first time something beyond the mind. So far we have been focusing our attention only to mind and buddhi, isn't it? Mind and intellect. But here he is going beyond that. He says, Tajjanma sasyam akhilam sakalam chananyat. Now what happens? This grows, sasya means crop. It grows the crop. What is the crop which is grown? Next to the mind, Tajjanma, the whole birth. Mind is something which accompanies you throughout your life, isn't it? From birth to death. That is your Janma. The period which you spend in this human form from birth to death, that is your Janma. So that Janma is the crop. What does it mean? That means the satisfaction in the mind is constantly there throughout your lifetime. Throughout your lifetime, you have this satisfaction of mind, this happiness of mind, which came because of bhakti, constantly. It is there all the time. Akhilam, sasyam akhilam. That means entire life. Sajjanma sasyam akhilam. So the entire life, without any break, is having this good crop. Yes, sakalam cha nanyat. This is the sakalam means all the crop. All the crop is there in the entire Janma. There is no time when you are not having this crop. There is no time when you have a dearth of crop. Sometimes we get drought, isn't it? There are periods of drought. Agriculturists know that when there is not a good rain and there is very much too much of heat, etc., etc. Now those things do not happen here. That is why he is using the word sakalam. Akhilam is for Janma. Sakalam is for Sasya. So all the time you have complete, full of Sasya, full of crop. Sakalam cha nanyat, nothing else. Now he is emphasizing that there is nothing other than this crop. In all agriculture, know that in the field, along with the crop, there are other growths, other vegetations which are harmful to our crop. But in our case, we don't allow anything like that. There is no need for pesticide and this and that. We don't have any such nuisance. We have only very good crop. Nothing else, non-yet, nothing else. That means what? My entire life is completely satisfied, completely happy because I have this cloud which is bhakti, which is raining continuously, this paritosha varsham. So, this mind which is like a mass of clouds, no, sorry, bhakti which is like a mass of clouds, bhakti which is like a mass of clouds, is raining constantly the rain of happiness, showering the rain of happiness and satisfaction, and it resides in the sky of feet of Parameshwara, and it fills the pond of mind overflowing fully, completely, and this grows in the adjacent field a beautiful crop that is the Janma. Which is the field? That is the Janma. The entire life period, this crop is grown continuously without any obstruction. Nanyate, there is no obstruction at all. भक्तिर्महेश पदपुष्करमावसन्ति कादम्बिनीव कुरुते परितोषवर्षम् सम्पूरितो भवति यस्य मनस्तटाकः तज्जन्म सस्यमखिलम् सकलं च नान्यत्.
बुद्धिस्थिरा भवतुमीश्वर पादपद्मा सक्ता वधूर्विरहिणीव सदा स्मरन्ति सद्भावना कीर्तनादि सम्मोहितेव शिवमन्त्रजपेन विन्ते.
Now, this buddhi, he is comparing the buddhi, the intellect, to a separated wife. He has got all kinds of analogies. He is saying, buddhisthira bhavitum ishvara pada padma sakta. For buddhi, the intellect, sthira bhavitum, to remain firm in Ishvara Pada Padma, in the lotus feet of Parameshwara, for it to remain firm, Sakta Vadhur Virahini, where Sakta means attached. It is attached and it is firm. It is attached to Ishvara Pada Padma and it is firmly sitting there for the intellect. For this to happen, Vadhur Virahini Vasada Smaranti, what you should do? You should always think. You should always meditate upon Sada Smaranti of the Pada Padma. Like what? Vadhuhu Virahini Iva. Vadhu is the married woman. The married woman, Virahini, separated. She is separated from her husband. Husband has gone out of station for 1 week, let us say, for some job. Now this woman is feeling so much that separation. She has taken it so seriously. She is always thinking of him. So similarly, you should always think the intensity with which you meditate. That is the question. Just the example is the separated wife. Just as a pativrata, separated wife, constantly thinks nothing but her husband. Similarly, your husband is Parameshwara's lotus feet. So always think of that. Sadbhavana smarana darshana kirtanadi sammohiteva shiva mantra japena vinte. So when you think of that, you adopt various means of keeping that meditation constant. That he is teaching us, like a teacher to a student, he is teaching us how to keep the mind constant on Shiva's lotus feet. Sadbhavana, that means always thinking of the various swarupas, various forms of Parameshwara. There are 64 forms of Parameshwara, like we said, Bhikshatana, Nataraja, Kala Samhara Murti, and so on. Smarana, thinking of his Leelas, his Swarupa, Sadbhavana, Smarana, thinking of various things which he has done, various actions, various Leelas which he has performed. They are all described in Puranas, which we all know. So, Sadbhavana, Smarana, then next, Darshana. Go and have darshan of him in the puja room or in the temple. Kirtanadi. Then, for a change, you start singing his praise, singing his names, etc. That is Kirtana. So, like this, if you keep on doing, Shiva Mantra Japena, then one more activity he is giving to the mind, doing Japa of Shiva Mantras. There are many Shiva Mantras. The most common is the Shiva Panchakshara Mantra, Mrityunjaya Mantra, and so on. Many mantras are there in the Vedas. You should take the Upadesha and chant those mantras. The other day, somebody had raised the question about mantra japa, and I think I said that for a person who has undergone Upanayam ceremony, for him, Gayatri is the best mantra. There is no need for any other mantra for him. Nagayatya param mantram namatuhu param daivatam. This is what Shastra says. So, it's not necessary for him to go in search of other mantras, to go to a guru, take Upadesha, and you see, getting Upadesha is not the only thing. Na? You have to follow it up with repeated chants of that mantra, at least a fixed number of times every day. All those niyamas, regulations are there. So, why to invite that? You have already been initiated into Gayatri mantra, please do that, chanting. This is what Shastra tells us. So, but in general, he is talking about those who have not undergone Upanayanam. Those who have undergone Upanayanam and those who have a lot of time, those who are interested in other mantras, for them, Shiva mantra japena. Because even if you do the chant of Gayatri mantra and dedicate the Gayatri mantra to Shiva's feet, you have achieved your aim. It is not that Gayatri mantra should be dedicated only towards Gayatri Devi. It can also be because Gayatri Devi is associated with Surya Bhagavan. And Surya Bhagavan is the center of Surya Bhagavan is occupied by Parameshwara, according to Sri Rudram, the first Anuvaka. So, Parameshwara also resides in Surya Mandala. Gayatri Devi also resides in Surya Mandala. So, Surya Mandala is common. In fact, Gayatri chanting is associated with Sandhya Kala towards Surya. We all know it. So, Surya is a common factor for both Gayatri and Parameshwara. So, if you chant Gayatri mantra dedicated to Parameshwara, both of them are going to feel very happy. So, Shiva mantra japena, this kind of mantra japa, sammohiteva, you should become in course of time like one seized of this situation. As if you have been seized of the situation, as if you have been stupefied by this situation. Mohanam is one of the 6 magician mantra magic does, particularly in Kerala, it used to be there. There are 6 methods for doing 6 kinds of activities through 6 different processes. And those are magical processes. So one of them is Mohanam. Mohanam is that fellow will become, if you do this mantra japa on him, Mohana mantra japa, that process on him, he will become completely like a mad fellow. He will become attracted to a particular person or particular matter or whatever you want him to be attracted to, mainly persons. So that is what he says. So similarly, you will become attracted to your lotus feet of Parveshwara as if you are stupefied, you don't have any other thought. Sammohita eva shiva mantra japena vinte. Vinte means the mind is anxiously practicing this smarana, all this whatever he said, is anxiously being practiced, engaged in anxious thought, that is vinte. What is anxiety? Anxiety is darshan of lotus feet of Parameshwara. So, for the intellect to be firmly rooted in the lotus feet of Parameshwara, you keep constantly thinking of Parameshwara's lotus feet like a separated wife. And what are the various methods of thinking of Parameshwara's lotus feet? Thinking of his Sarupas, thinking of his Leelas, having darshan, singing his praise, and doing chanting of Shiva mantras. And then during this process, you should become like a stupefied person, like a mohita person, who don't understand what you are, who you are, where you are. That is the kind of state you are in. Your so much mind is like a intoxicated, mad fellow, and you will become mad for Shiva's lotus feet. Buddhisthira bhavitum Ishvara pada padma sakta vadhur virahini vasada smaranti sadbhavana smarana darshana kirtanadi sammohite shiva mantra japena vinte.
सदुपचारविधिष्वनुबोधितां सविनयां सुहृदं समुपाश्रितां मम समुद्धर बुद्धिमिमां प्रभो वरगुणेन नवोढवधूमिव.
Last time he talked about a married woman. It could be a newly married woman or married woman with some period of time. But here he is making it very clear that he is talking about a newly married woman. Navodha vadhu miva navaodha vadhu, newly married woman. Now how the newly married woman impresses her husband's family. How does she impress? How does she get on well with them? How does she impress them? Varagunena, with extremely good qualities. With extremely good qualities, everybody is happy. Aha, we have got a girl who is very good, very virtuous. So that happiness she generates because of her qualities, extremely good qualities. Varagunena, extremely good qualities. Now, how did she get all these good qualities? What is the training she has undergone? Like this, you have to train your mind. Our mind, we are taking a lesson from her. Our teacher is now this girl. So she has trained herself for impressing the household of her husband. Similarly, we should take a training for impressing Parameshwara to enable us to have darshan of his feet. What is the training she has undergone? What is the training we should undergo? Tadupachara vidhishva anubodhitam, anubodhitam. She has been repeatedly told, she has been trained in her parents' home before the marriage. In what? Tadupachara vidhishu, how to do satkara, atithi satkara, how to be respectful to your husband's parents, how to be respectful to your elders, how to do upachara in general. Tadupachara, good upachara, the processes of good upachara, she has been trained. Similarly, you should train your mind in the process of good upachara for Parameshwara. How to do good puja, you should learn all that. How to do puja with a proper intense concentration, how to do chanting of Shiva mantra. Are we making any mistake in pronunciation? Are we making any other mistake in the chant? Are there any restrictions in the chant? Wearing a rudraksha, wearing vibhuti, are there any restrictions? Are we following them? So these are the various rules of sadupachara. So you should train yourself. Savinayam suhridam samupashritam. She is also impressing them by her good qualities. Vinaya. Vinaya means humility. She is a very personification of humility. So you should also become a very personification of humility. If you keep on beating your drum, saying, I have done this, I have done that, I was the one who sponsored that Maharudram. If you keep on doing that, then Vinaya will leave you. Savinayam, Suhridam. Suhridam means love for everybody. That is what the girl has been trained. So you should train yourself. Suhridam, you should be a Suhrida. You should be loved by everybody. You should love everybody. Bhagavan calls himself Suhridam Sarvabhutanam in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan calls Bhagavan himself as Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. I am the well-wisher of all jivas, all beings. So why you are worried? I am there. So please come to me. Don't think of anything else. This is what he is giving a direct advice to Arjuna. So, Suhridam Samupashritam. Samupashritam means resorting to always good things. Never resort to bad things. She never does anything bad. She never has a bad thought. She never does any bad action. She never wants to do any evil to anyone. Samupashritam. So you should also lead a virtuous life, thinking of always good to do good to others. Mama samudhara buddhimimam prabho. So, for doing all this, please help me. So that is the prayer. Now we are putting in a direct prayer to Parameshwara. Please help my intellect to go through all this process and raise it. Samudhara means raise the intellect, raise the level of intellect, bring it up. Imam Buddhim, this buddhi of mine, this intellect of mine, oh Prabhu, you are all powerful, you are omniscient, you can do anything. Nigraha, Anugraha Shakti is there with you. Please do this Anugraha. That means raising my intellect to have all these qualities which are mentioned, which are there in that newly married girl. Similarly, I should also get these kinds of good qualities so that I will have darshan of your lotus feet. Now, Bhagavad Gita gives this similar idea in one of the shlokas there. Etu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samudharta. Teshamaham samudharta. Here also he says, mama samudhara buddhimimam teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat. He says, aham samudharta, I am there to raise them. From where? Mrityu samsara sagarat. From the ocean of Mrityu and samsara, I will raise them. Whom I will raise? He is putting a condition. He is putting a qualification. Etu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha. Who has dedicated all his actions to me and who is always having me as the goal. Matparaha. Goal to be attained is myself. Ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate. He is giving lot of emphasis to this one-pointed attention. He says, Ananyenaiva yogena. With one-pointed yoga, with one-pointed attention, he is thinking of only me. Mam dhyayanta upasate. He is thinking of only me. He is always worshipping me. For that person, I become a samudharta. I raise him. So similarly, he says here, you raise me. I may not have all those qualities which Bhagavan describes in Bhagavad Gita, but I am trying. So how I am trying, he has described. Like he put in some conditions in Bhagavad Gita, here also he has put in some conditions similar. Sadupachara vidhishvanubodhitam savinayam suhridam samupashritam mama samudhara buddhimimam prabho varagunena navodhavadhomiva. Next.
नित्यं योगी मनः सरोजदल सञ्चारक्षमस्त्वत्क्रमः शम्भो तेन कथं कठोरयमराड्वक्षः कवाटक्षतिः अत्यन्तं मृदुलं त्वदङ्घ्रियुगलं हामे मनश्चिन्तयत्येतल्लोचनगोचरम् कुरु विभो हस्तेन संवाहये.
Now he is going to a different subject connected with Parameshwara's lotus feet. He says, your lotus feet are used to, they are so soft, they are so komala, so soft that it has become so soft. Nityam yogi manas saroja dala sanchara kshamas tvatkramaha. Tvatkramaha, your habit, your natural course is what? Saroja dala sanchara kshamaha. You have the capacity to always move about on the lotus feet of the minds of yogis, always, Nityam. And they are very soft, like a lotus leaves, like the lotus flower leaves, Saroja Dala. So, like the lotus flower leaves, your petals, like the lotus petals, your they are so soft. The yogis' minds are like that, and your feet are used to moving about there because you always live in their minds. So they are very soft. With those soft feet, Shambho tena katham kathora yamarat vaksha kavata kshatihi. With that kind of lotus foot, tena katham, how did you do this? What did you do? Kathora yamarat vaksha. Yamarad is Amaraja, Yamadharmaraja. His chest is so hard. Kathora Vakshaha. His chest is so hard. And you went and kicked him on his chest with your left foot. So, Kavata, it is so hard, it is like a door. In olden days, in villages, you might have seen, even now, there are steel doors, iron doors, very heavy and very hard and harsh. Even the bolt which is there on the door will be very harsh, making so much of noise and very heavy, difficult to open and close. So he is comparing with that kind of door. With that kind of door, like that is your emerald hard test surface. On that you kicked Kshatihi. Not only you just kicked him, you made him fall down, you made him lose his life. You kicked him so hard. So is it correct? Atyantam Ridulam Todandri Yugalam Hame Manastyantayati. Todandri Yugalam, your two twin feet, Atyantam Ridulam, extremely soft. Hame Manastyantayati. My mind is very much worried. Ha. My mind is very much worried. I am very anxious about your soft lotus feet, which you have, which are used to walking on the moving about on the lotus petals of yogi's mind. Now you have suddenly, in an instant, without any preparation, you went and kicked that hard door-like chest of emerald. What will happen? I am very much worried. So what you should do? Etat lochana gocharam kurvibho hastena samvahaye. That lotus foot, please make it visible to my eyes. This is a kind of interesting prayer where he is making the prayer for darshan of the lotus feet, giving some strange reason. So he says, make it available to me, visible to me. Then what will I do? O vibho hastena samvahaye. I will hold it with my hands and massage it with my hands so that the pain will go. I will hold your lotus feet in my lap and with my hand I will do massaging. Hastena samvahaye. Very interesting way of putting forth a prayer for darshan of lotus feet. So your lotus feet are used to, they have developed this habit and the capacity to walk about. It needs the capacity also. That is why he is saying Shamaha. Because can you walk on a petal of a lotus? You cannot. You will stumble and fall down. But he is able to walk because he has developed that habit and that capacity, and his feet are so soft. So he says, you have developed that capacity, developed that habit of moving about on the lotus petals of yogi's mind, always, Nityam. Then how did you manage to kick this hard door-like surface of Yama's chest so hard? You kicked him so hard that he lost his life. Your feet are extremely soft. Now my mind is worried about your foot which you used, your left foot which you used. So please make yourself visible to me. Lochana gocharam kuru. This lotus foot, please make it visible to me so that I will hold it in my hands and massage that foot. Nityam yogi manas saroja dala sanchara kshamas tvatkramaha Shambho tena katham kathora yamarat vaksha kavata kshatihi Atyantam mridulam todangri yughalam hame manasyantayati Etal lochana gocharam Kuru Vibho Hastena Samvahaye. I think time is up now. So we close for the day. And are there any questions, Lata?
No questions, Mama.
No question. So we close for the day. And tomorrow evening we meet at 7:30 IST as usual. And we continue to immerse ourselves in this sadhara of Shivananda Lahari. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva.